Good afternoon. The Citadel Bulldogs will open up their 23 football season this Saturday, September 2nd, in Statesboro, Georgia, against Georgia Southern. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. Here to talk about the Bulldogs is head coach Murray Straighton.
All right. Good afternoon.
No opening statement.
Well, I'm just ready for football. We're tired of practicing against each other. I didn't realize you were expecting an opening statement. We're just in all work mode right now. We're just business. We have a lot of ground to cover in a short period of time to do it. Starting quarterback. We don't have a starting quarterback right now. Truth is, we're a poor football team at the moment. We're not playing very well, and we're not happy with our progress at this moment in time.
Is that a motivational tactic, or is that truly,
No, that is truly how I feel. One thing you'll learn about me, everybody wants to know the truth until you tell it, and I'm telling the truth. So we have some work to do. We're not in a good place as a football team.
Overall or offensively?
Overall. Overall. We are a poor football team right now.
What are the biggest issues?
Biggest issues that we have right now is I think we started reading some of the press clippings. And what do I mean by that? Moms and dads patting us on the backside. You guys look really good. Practice is going great. I haven't seen it look this good. And the last 3 days has not been to the standard to compete in a college football game at this level. And that's disheartening.
How do you get that fixed before game day?
Well, the big thing is, like I said, I'm in work mode right now. Keep our head down, keep grinding. But the one thing that stands out the most, and where we saw it turning, is once classes started. Okay, guys here are used to a routine. So we had the routine of the summertime, the routine of preseason camp, and now transitioning from that routine into class, into military, in addition to reading their press clippings, I'm going to use that quote, it just has not been up to our standard, the standard that we want for ourselves.
Would you say players agree with how you feel in terms of not feeling that great?
I think they know exactly how I feel, and it is concerning to some, and they're trying to get themselves and their teammates out of that mode and back to where we need to be.
Who have been some of those big leaders that have stepped up or have, key vocal leaders?
Our linebacker core has done a very, very good job. We're very pleased with them, led by Hassan Black. The linebackers are doing a really good job in leading us in the manner in which we need to be led. The best teams I've been around have been player-led teams. I've shared with the team that Everett Sands has played his last game. Maurice Drayton has played his last game. Raleigh Jackson has played his last game. We're not going to win football games just because we're the coach. We're going to win football games because they put in the hard work and do the things that we as a coaching staff have asked them to do.
Up until classes started, up until these last two practices, think there's any progress? Think we've pleased with progress or what?
Well, as a coach, it's never enough, but we were trending in the right direction.
And then what, was it just one practice kind of set you back down or?
Well, like I mentioned, it was multiple practices. So anytime you are repeating something that is not your norm and is not trending in the right direction, we got to address it. We have to address it immediately. So the team knows that we're not happy with them at the moment. The team knows that we have some work to do before we get to Saturday.
What about a player or position group? I won't say surprised, but maybe caught your eye during fall camp.
I don't know that a position group has surprised me or caught my eye. Coming out of the spring, in the summer, we get to spend a lot of time with them in the summertime. So I don't know that there was a true surprise. Yeah, they are exactly about from a knowledge standpoint, from an athletic standpoint. Most groups were at where I thought they would be, so no surprises there.
Southern. What do you see on tape leading into Saturday?
Speed, 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 and more speed. Not to mention they have length. This is a very good football team. Clay does a heck of a job. I've always admired his teams. I've watched his career all the way back when he was a quarterback at Auburn before he transferred to University of Houston. His teams at Southern Cal, his position groups, he has always done a fabulous job. And, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in their league.
When you go into these games, the bye game sort of situation, this is not the same Georgia Southern Citadel matchup that you saw in the Southern Conference back in the day. You try to go back to the roots of this rivalry, or do you kind of, do your players understand that it is, scholarship-wise, a mismatched rivalry?
Well, I've always done a good job with the history of programs and the history of coaching staffs and conveying that message to players. Our players don't necessarily understand what it's like to go to Statesboro from the days of Irk, to present. That's a tough place to play. Those fans are very, very passionate. They love their football in Statesboro. And it's going to be a tough environment to navigate and to be in. And although we try to create that or recreate that throughout our practices, we won't truly know until we get there.
How worried are you about losing time to the Hurricane when they have an indoor facility and they can practice indoors this week?
I'm not worried at all. Truth of the matter is we practice in the elements. That's one of the things that we decided to do when we got here. The elements doesn't bother us. The last few years I've been in extreme elements, and it's just a carryover from my experiences here. I will say the guys have bought into that when we've had elements and situations. They didn't stick their toe in. They jumped in head first. So we will give them credit from that standpoint.
So you'll plan on going outside this week rather than trying to go in McAllister Fieldhouse or something?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be outside. The elements don't stop us. We're going to play outside. We'll be hard pressed to go indoors at any point this season.
Coach, going back to playing at Georgia Southern, what do you remember about playing the Eagles when you were here as a cadet? Any memories kind of stick out?
Yes, several memories. Speed, and more speed. Team full of guys that can run, that are athletic, that can jump, that are passionate about the game, and the fan base being passionate about the fan base and willing, the administration, willing to do any and everything possible to make sure that at that time when I was playing, be a premier, team in all of 1AA football, which is now FCS.
Any games stick out or not really?
No, I got my Fanny beat down there a few times. As a coach, we went down there in the Ellis Johnson era and crept away with a win that we felt really good about.
Were you able to watch any of the SC State or the Mercer games over the weekend?
Yes, sir, absolutely. Watch both of them.
Does that give you any, I don't know, leg up on those teams going in? I know that, what were your impressions of that? Does that give you an early scouting of what you were
Well, the coaching profession is small, so I have friends on those coaching staffs. So I watched the game from a friend perspective. I watched the game from even a fan perspective. And that Mercer defense is the real deal. When they tackle you, they try to hurt you. They're a very, very physical outfit. Their special teams is very good. As soon as I say that, I think about the muff punt that the returner at Mercer had. But, they're very, very good. Good football team, good physical football team. And it's taken time for Mercer to get to that point. And that was one of the conversations I had with one of my friends who coaches at Mercer, just the maturation process to get them where they are today. Watching the SC State game, that one kind of hurt a little bit. Obviously, I'm always pulling for Buddy Pugh, pulling for their coaching staff, pulling for South Carolina State as a program. But we were able to pick up some things watching them as well, too, that we were able to share with our team in hopes that, we can learn from them without having to learn ourselves. Yes, sir.
Have you taken any time just to think about the fact that this week you're going to lead the Citadel as their head coach? You're going to walk onto the field as the head coach of the Citadel Bulldogs. And then second part of that question, first time having to call timeouts and make decisions on fourth downs and stuff like that. Have you thought about that or gone over those situations in your head, just being the head coach of the Citadel?
Yes, we've thought about that. To be honest with you, everybody keeps asking me, are you excited? Are you excited? Are you excited? Really, I don't want to say I'm not excited because it's work, right? This is what I felt like I'm built to do, what I've been trained to do. And because of that, I'm even keel right now. I'm more focused on the work, the detailing the work, trying to get a product on the field that everyone will be proud of. So I haven't had to juggle feelings, so to speak. As far as your question, when it comes to timeouts, game management, things of that nature, yes, we've spent a lot of time doing that. I've been trained in that over the years as well, too. Being a special teams coordinator in the National Football League, a lot of times you're in charge of game management, you're in charge of situational football, and so we feel very prepared in that realm. We've also have Joseph Call, who's on our staff. He is in charge of like game day management and things of that nature. So he's been studying as well too. Not to mention Cade Rainings, our special teams coordinator. He's thoroughly immersed in that as well. So we'll be calculated with the things that we do in that realm.
Coach, it sounds like a lot of the issues you're talking about today where you're not happy with the team on mental and X's and O's. What's the balance there? Is a lot of this mental that you're talking about?
Yes, it is mental because we are prepared for the physical aspect. We knew once the guys come to school and they put on the duty uniform and they have to double time on campus and things of that nature. We understood the physical portion of it. It is the mental portion, and we know that the tongue can speak life, and we've been very positive with them. But we need to be realistic as well, too. So we had to make sure we conveyed the message that this is not the standard, all right, and this is how we're going to get to the standard. So it is mental, to answer your question.
I know winning Saturday's game obviously is the main objective, but what would you like to see out of your ball club on Saturday?
I would like to see us be efficient in our goals that we have set before us. Efficiency is the big word this week. We want to be efficient. We want to play smart. We don't want pre-snap fouls, and try to play fast as we can play.
I know that you haven't named the starting quarterback, but are 2 or possibly 3 expected to play, or kind of wait and see?
We would expect right now to play more than one quarterback. We don't have a starter right now.
What's keeping whoever that is from being a starting quarterback?
That's a great question. The main thing that's keeping them from being a starting quarterback is efficiency, which we talked about, being efficient and consistent. Consistency and efficiency.
Grayson and Dustin, those are the 2 prime candidates still?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And are you disappointed that one of them hasn't kind of taken the job? Really asserted themselves?
Disappointment, maybe a little strong, because both of them are competing, all right, and they are giving their best on a daily basis. So I don't want to use the word disappointment. It's sort of, you can look at it 2 ways. You can look at it as half empty, or you can look at it as half full in this particular situation. And quite frankly, I think it's a good thing right now, because you have 2 guys who are battling. They may not have achieved the consistency and the efficiency that you want, but both of them play at times like top caliber starters.
Coach, just looking at some of the Sun Belt preview stuff, it seems like if Georgia Southern has a weaker area, is their defense, how their run game defense, how do you feel about y'all's run game on offense, not just outside quarterback play, but as a whole?
Yes, leading up to this week, I felt very good about our run game. If we have to hone in and focus on us. I can't worry about Georgia Southern's defense if, I'm calling a play and it's not being executed right. So, the issue's with us. It's not with the opponent. So that's where our attention lies right now. So when I look at Georgia Southern's roster now, I don't see a weakness. Those guys can run. They can run, and they're long. So anytime you have that decreases space. And anytime you can decrease space, that decreases our opportunity to get by them. So, they're a good team.
And on the other side of that, you talked about Clay Helton a little bit, you know what he's brought in their passing attack. How do you feel about your defense? I know you mentioned your linebackers.
Yes, once again, that is a bright spot. Our linebacking core is really good, or we feel like we have the opportunity to be really good. His passing attack is I'm going to use the word lethal. It's very lethal. We've seen it at various stops along his career. It's like any offense each week. We're going to have to find a way to try to limit their success.
Are you surprised, let's use that word, that you can't name a starting quarterback?
Yes, I am surprised. I am surprised from that standpoint. Yeah, because one thing that we've always said, the best players will play, all right, and it needs to be a separation for me to name a starting quarterback. Yeah, it just hasn't happened yet.
So you've seen flashes of very good things, but just hasn't been consistent.
Yes, we've seen flashes out of both of them. They've done a great job. And, lo and behold, don't forget about Varney either. He's shown some flashes at times. So, all right. Thank you. Appreciate it.